at me now. Check me out. Look at me now. Look at me now. Check me out.
Our winner, Senteon!
Hey, IT Nation, Sean Lardo here with my handy dandy co-host, my Siamese twin, sister from another mister, and just generally my work partner through the last 3 years of PitchIT, Andrea Barrow. Hi.
What's happening, IT Nation? Hello, Sean. I appreciate all of those titles you have given me. It's great.
They're not given, they're earned. They've been
Earned. Oh my goodness. Wow. They carry even more weight knowing that I have earned them.
You have, absolutely. So we are here today because this will be, as we mentioned in our very first episode, we put out that every couple weeks they are going to be able to see our faces to talk about PitchIT 2025 season.
That's right. Thursdays, 8 a.m. Eastern.
There you
We'll
go.
Be there. We'll be here for you.
Yes. And so this is yet another segment of this. This is a place for everybody to start to be able to watch and learn about the competition, get the status updates on it, along with learn and meet about new vendors that they may be looking for. So if you're looking for any specific cybersecurity, AI, or whatever, depending on who's on the competition this year, this is the place for you to actually come check it out. And you can
check it out. Meet up with us even,
Yes. Actually, you can meet up with them at the marketplace.
Yep. Marketplace.connectwise.com.
Yes,
Meet
that's
up.
where all the cool kids meet up. Yes.
It's true.
So today, as we do this, we're here to interview, not you and I together, although I love spending time with you. I'm sure everybody loves to watch us talk, but we're here to interview. Yeah. We're here to interview the people that have been a big part of the competition over the years. And this is a very exciting episode for me. I'm excited about our guests. And if you want, I'll be happy if you actually give a little bit of breakdown on who we have.
Oh my gosh. It would be my honor to be able to introduce our guests today. So first up, we have Bobby from Thread. Thread is one of our former PitchIT grand prize winners. They have been fantastic partners with ConnectWise and the IT Nation for several years. And I am so pumped to have Bobby on to share his experience, not only as a contestant in PitchIT, but he was also a 2024 coach for our PitchIT participants.
I broke out. I made it. Was trapped back there. Thanks for bringing me out, guys. I had a few fun names for you guys. I know Sean rattled a few off. Andrea, you might be the pitch perfecter, the bit boss, the pitch commander. Tried to keep those a little tasteful on the Sean side. Bald boss of the pitch, maybe the Chrome Dome MC, Mr. Clean Sweep of pitches. Thanks for having me.
Wow, Bobby, thank you so much.
Wow,
you guys do so much good work. I mean, you guys riff with each other. I want to be a part of the fun.
I'm so happy you brought it. Those were beautiful.
I'm just glad you can meet up with us today.
Yeah,
it's all about the meetup.
Thank you. I'm glad we could bring you from the green room eventually, because really we were going to run out of things to talk about that we could actually record. That is. So thank you for. So a little bit of you won. You were the PitchIT winners 2 years back. And I actually use you as an example when I talk to people. I say, the conversation you and I had early on to what we had later on was how you guys already did a good job when the year started. You were good at pitching. Wasn't the problem so much, but even like you self-admittedly said, there was things I missed and didn't think about doing and applied the way you went about and refined. And then obviously you crushed everybody. So you've become like my poster child for what to do.
We definitely grew while we were in PitchIT, for sure. I don't know if we really knew how to talk about what we did. I think almost everyone in PitchIT does like pretty complicated stuff. And so it's hard not to just talk about features and talk about outcomes. Yeah, so I mean, we definitely grew in that a lot during PitchIT.
You did very well, and you guys also always cause a scene at the events, which I really like too.
Mhm. You're great at creating buzz and getting people excited and getting people to be like, what's going on over there? So that's another, I think that's a hard thing to be able to execute effectively. Not only are you driving buzz, but then that's translating to traffic to you at shows too. So hats off to you and your marketing crew for being so incredibly creative in your strategy on site at events.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of work in a fun way, but one of our core values is being radical, and we spend time thinking about being radical, which, like, you know, it doesn't just happen, but it's worth it because, you know, people are really busy running successful businesses, and it's hard to take the time to think about how to improve that business. So yeah, I mean, if we have a break room like we did at IT Nation, or we're doing tattoos or whatever, it's not for the break room or for whatever. It's like to help people get out of their bubble to think about how to run a better business.
Absolutely. And for people that don't know, which I'd be surprised that they don't know, 30-second pitch. What is Thread?
Yeah, which is a different pitch than when we were in PitchIT. Thread is an AI service desk. We help MSPs build scalable businesses with AI at the core of what they're doing. So it's about creating magical experiences for the end user and the technician that's AI powered.
Awesome. That is different.
Agentic triage is probably a piece I should have thrown in there, but yeah, that's I need to do a PitchIT for like our new category that we're in.
maybe down the road we can have like the PitchIT championship circuit.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be dope.
Yeah,
that'd be dope, right?
There's a lot of iterations for sure. Like, I think alert ops is probably pretty different. Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we want to make sure we bring up the other person, but with that, you were the head coach last year of last year's winner also, and I just sat with Uncle Marv and said that there's a legacy taking place of winners to winners to winners, clear back to Jameson West. So
for the good of the program, it should probably change, but I have no interest in that.
Well, we'll see what happens. This is a whole new year. So you know, we want to bring on, since Andrew already said who it is, we don't have that much of a big, unless you have names for him. If you have names, Bobby, feel free to
well, yeah, I need a second. I don't know. The hardest man of the sea.
He's about to make a big splash. You know?
And look, Simon heard him and brought. Look how quick Simon brought him on too. As opposed to, he's like, Simon was like, I'm on this right now. I don't care if you introduce or not. Here he comes.
If anything, this was a little early. Should we toss me back and?
No, I think you're doing well. I feel like. So wait, where are you again? I know Andrea mentioned it.
Yeah, I'm out at Glass Beach. I figured I'd show where you get to go after PitchIT.
That's weird because we're all in our offices and you're on vacation. So I think it's different after PitchIT for all of us.
You win PitchIT, you get to go to Glass Beach, paid for by IT Nation, right?
Yeah.
Retirement is nice.
It was my trip to Glass Beach. It was awesome.
It's a cool place. It's awesome.
When you win first place money for $70,000, you're absolutely right. You can apply it to whatever you want to. If it's Glass Beach,
I mean, we chose to build more features in our product, but you can use it on whatever you want.
Yeah, it truly is reward money. So I guess however you see the best investment for your business.
We used it for work-life balance, right?
There you go. Culture building.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yes. Okay, well, let's get into it. So Zach, real quick, 30 seconds. What do you do?
So we harden workstations, servers, and browsers to best practice security standards. Basically, all the red marks you get from scanning tools, we'll turn them green.
That's well put.
15 seconds.
Great.
It's hard to talk for 30 seconds. People say it's hard to get 30 seconds and to get everything out. I'm more of a 15-second guy.
So many places to go with that. But we'll just go with the fact that I'm happy you can finish a sentence in 15 seconds because that's unlike you.
Yeah, I can rattle off features for 30 minutes if you want, but regarding what we do, it's a lot simpler than that.
You can just rattle off for longer, and I appreciate that about you. And actually, that's something I would say about this. I think something to point out right away. You both won Pitch It. Last year for you, Zach, and 2 years prior for you, Bobby. One thing that you guys have both been very good at is being able to engage in conversations, on the floor with any random person and be a more supportive mechanism, even in uplifting. So do you attribute any of that to the fact that you had success in Pitch It? I'll start.
I think being short-winded is a really important piece. Like speaking about the value of the product, like especially when you're like Zach was at Write a Boom, we were at Write a Boom. Like you could spend, do quick math or something. You get a 4 15-minute conversations, right? Or you could have 61-minute conversations. And I think like if you can make those 1-minute conversations as valuable as a 15-minute and just get to value and get interest and move on to the next thing, like that's hard to do. We can all think of people we know that are really smart, but they just rattle on and on and on, and they need 2 hours to demo their product to somebody. So yeah, I mean that's a big thing for sure. Like I think the 30-second pitches that Pitch It makes you do are awesome.
Yeah, I think Pitch It really showed me the opportunity to talk about things outside of features a lot more, like general topics, if you will. So when I first joined the cohort, I was doing weekly webinars, but it was always about the technical aspects of what Senteon does to change settings and what a setting is, what a setting does, and all the technical aspects. But Pitch It kind of pushed me to talk about more, I guess, arbitrary topics or high level topics and become a more natural speaker that definitely translated to getting to the point a little bit more, especially when we have Sean and his grandpa Sean and his dad rather, always telling me I need to talk more about the value of it and the service delivery.
Yes, that's correct. I did say that, and some random other guy did too. And again, that comes back to the refinement of messaging, I feel like, and understanding where you're going with the product or the offering. So with that, now moving on, how much would you say you altered? And I said this about you earlier, Bobby, about being the poster child. And I'll come back to you. How much would you say you altered in the way your approach to discussing what you do, percentage wise? I know you're not going to know exact, but like, do you see yourself? Do you guys do like a 180 or a 90% change, or what? From the way you presented, from the way you saw yourself offering wise, and the way you talked about it, is what I'm saying.
Maybe we lost Zach a little bit.
I thought he was asking you.
I'm going to ask you, Bobby, first.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Bobby. Well, let me answer for Zach, because that was most recent. I feel like it was seriously,
Bobby's the most giving person. He'd rather plug me and work with me than plug himself.
No, we worked on this a ton together, like recently, right? Like 6 months ago, less than that. Like the pitch that you just did of like we turned green to red, that wasn't your pitch right away, no. Right? Your pitch right away was like, we all know how terrible Microsoft XYZ whatever is, and I was like, I don't think so, dude. Like I don't like, I use Microsoft stuff. Like that doesn't like immediately resonate as much. You get there and then it's true. But yeah, I mean, I think like that was a big iteration that I feel like your pitch now just like super lands with anybody.
It was really funny. And Sean, I don't know if you know this story, but the first meeting with Bobby, I think we had 30 minutes together. And when the next meeting, the following week started, I was like, hey, Bobby, like, was last week just a busy minute? Like, you didn't seem like really enthused by what I was talking about. He's like, honestly, you only said one thing that was interesting. And we kind of took that one thing and then built an entire pitch out of it. So it was, I mean, it fit my style, right? That's the aspect that works with me.
Yeah, we vibed well, but yeah, it's radical candor is helpful, I think. Yeah. So the question I didn't answer was like, how did Thread like iterate through the deal? Yeah, again, like I think just talking about features, like we would talk a lot about what our product did versus talk about outcomes of like the impact it makes on your business. really being able to scale without any more headcount. Like that's what we talk about all the time now. We did not talk about that when we joined PitchIT. We just talked about how like chat is better than phone and email, which it can be, but like that in and of itself isn't that interesting to like why you should do something in your business.
Fair.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So that was like a lot of feedback that we got from being in PitchIT is like talk about the actual outcomes.
Yeah. Nice. And a lot of times that just resonates so much more with the MSPs that you're chatting with, right? That you can go on and on about features and functionalities, but at the end of the day, they really need to understand how this is going to be impactful to their business. How is this going to drive revenue, or how is this going to save them money and create more efficiencies? So that's awesome to hear that you guys were able to refine your overall messaging through the PitchIT program.
Yeah. And I think to that point, it's like taking it from like a service desk manager technician pitch to like a business owner pitch.
Sure.
Like it's pretty easy with technical products to show a service desk manager why it's cool. But just going straight to the business impact and then going into the technical piece can be harder.
Yeah.
And more impactful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, Zach. I stole yours. I had fun with that.
No, that was perfect. I love talking about our coaching relationship. I mean, we really did refine it from the good things that were aspects. It's just like Bobby was saying, it's easy to talk about features. And a lot of the time with a technical product, as you said, it's easy to present and even sell the engineers, the admins. And that's one thing that, Senteon is really well positioned to do, because it is a very automation heavy, get a lot of things done in a few minutes type of platform, to where when I had to present upstream, telling the CEO or the CFO that we can change 1,000 settings in under a minute without disruption, they were just like, yeah, we could probably do that already. It didn't really mean anything to them. They were just like, yeah, this is probably something we already have in-house. We have Jeff, Michelle already working on that, doing configuration management, to where the value prop with our learning mode didn't land as much. So that's really one thing I had to rip away from my short pitch, and really just get to the business outcome quickly.
All right. So, we probably have a lot of folks tuning in who are interested in potentially joining PitchIT or interested in applying. What would you say is the key reason to apply?
The trip to Glass Beach.
Just to be clear, there's no trip to Glass Beach.
I'll kick off since I started with a joke. I mean, for me, it was really building that comfortability in talking on multiple live streams and platforms, and the availability of having the introductions to people who want to help and want to, be part of your brand, right? Because PitchIT for Senteon was incredible, but it also helped me as a person develop my personal brand, my personal, even professional interests. Like, what do I want to talk about? Sure, I can talk about things that benefit Senteon any day of the week. But what is it I want to talk about and I want to do to kind of build my own confidence and my own, I guess, again, personal brand under that tone. But I would very much say anyone considering it as an entrepreneur, this is a chance to personally grow, understand the areas you can improve on in your own business or pitch, but also become better integrated into a very complex market if you are a vendor who's never serviced the MSP industry.
Good call. What about you, Bobby?
Yeah, I was definitely going to say the same thing about if you're an existing vendor that hasn't worked with MSPs, getting into the community and building the relationships. Like the relationships are huge. Like you meet 30 plus of the more influential people in the space, which is massive. I think that's the biggest reason, honestly. The help with the pitch is huge. And then sessions that are tailored for every role on your team, I think is another thing that doesn't get talked about a lot. Of like, there's times where your CTO should join, there's times where your marketing team should join, how to raise funding. Like there's so many different pieces. It's, again, I think I say this every time I'm on a thing, I don't think it should be called PitchIT. Like PitchIT is just the outcome of it, but it's really like an accelerator where you focus on the whole business. I think that's like another one of the big reasons.
You're not wrong, but we had to call it something.
Yeah, I love the name.
Back to the outcome conversation.
I think the secondary, it should be like PitchIT and everything else or something.
Maybe we can add that tagline in. Yeah.
And
Pitch
the
it and all the
and
other
kitchen
things.
sink.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
The
the
kitchen sink,
kitchen
there you go.
sink. I'm in with that. Well,
Yeah.
and I want to come back around real quick too. Zach, what made you apply for PitchIT?
So I personally, PitchIT is a newer program. It's through this. I was third year. Is that correct?
Well, 7th year really, but third under Andrea and I.
Oh, okay. Third year that
Under
no,
the
I'm
revamp.
kidding. 7 years, all of it mattered equally. Uh, so I actually hadn't heard of PitchIT or really understood what the goal was, who's the right type of person to apply and everything. And then it was actually Tim Golden, who was another PitchIT contestant at a GTIA, previously known as event, where I was introduced directly to you, Sean. And I think I said something along the lines like, should I really be doing this? Like, is this worth me doing? And you laid it out in front of me, and I told you, well, if I do it, I'm going to get in. And you're like, well, we'll review you. We'll see how it goes. And fortunately, I was lucky enough to get in and took the program seriously, which is another thing to anyone who's considering applying or joining the cohort. You get in as much as you get out as much as you put in, right? You got to attend the sessions, engage, camera on, as they say, and just be there and be present. So was really thankful for Tim making that introduction and getting us into the spotlight with you.
Absolutely. We were at CCF in Chicago, and you said there's no reason for us to be in this. We're just a startup. That's what the competition is for, is just startups. And you argued it and said no. And then you brought Henry over, and I was like, who are you? And we had the conversation, and then you guys applied. And it was exactly like that too. So I think it's important people know that, because you didn't think you even belonged.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so easy to get
really
caught
fun.
up as an entrepreneur, especially when you're a smaller team, earlier stage. We had partners at that point in our company life cycle, but it really was, we were kind of heads down thinking about features, and this is going to be a distraction. This isn't going to necessarily help the business grow. Like, where are the priorities? And you presented a good use case. We again applied and took it seriously, and we got out what we put in. It was really, really great.
Yep. Absolutely.
So thinking about your takeaways from PitchIT, the different courses and sessions that were part of the accelerator program, your experiences going through the whole coaching and contestant relationship, compounding all of those different things that you all have both learned from this experience, what's something that you are continue to do in your business that you've taken from PitchIT?
For me, it was really continuing to build my presentation style, right? Obviously, going on stage, that was only my second, maybe third time talking in public. And doing that encouraged me to apply for more speaking opportunities and continue doing that at shows where I can, toss and submit my talk. So that's one thing that I very much carry on. But on a more, skill level, it's getting to take that away from PitchIT and build that confidence of talking in person. I've translated that into a very, my virtual presence as well, right? So I very much have a more casual style to the way I do my sales presentations, the way I do my webinar talks. I like to go neat places, right? We've done a couple of these IT Nation talks where I go to Stanford University, and I like to incorporate really who I am to all of my conversations. And that's one thing that PitchIT really showed me matters, because we are very much selling to people. Yes, we're vendors. Yes, we want to make a sale, but it also, we all want to have relationships with the people we work with. So going through PitchIT, building that confidence, and identifying my style was very important. And I don't know if I would have gotten there as quick without it.
The community piece of it, I feel like that kind of points back to it. But yeah, just being yourself, being known. That's awesome. I think for us, yeah, I mean, I feel like I keep going back to it, but communicating what we do clearly and succinctly, and talking about value in what we do. Just so many cycles around how to talk about what you do. And then we've just taken that, and we changed our category to AI service desk as we've grown our product. And I think the core pieces that we learned in PitchIT, we were able to go through a similar process just on our own of thinking about the messaging for AI service desk.
have you guys seen actually, Bobby, this is such a setup question because you already told me this a long time ago. But it's never gets old. With part of the when you're in the competition, the program, you do a lot of podcasts, live streams, and stuff like that. And yes, I'm starting with you first because you and I had this conversation. Did you well, as you perfected your speak, did you also see results from being part of all these communities?
Yeah, results is in like meeting more MSPs and helping more people. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so much work. Like I've been on less podcasts since I haven't been in PitchIT. Like it just takes a lot of time to like coordinate things and make it make sense to be on stuff, and PitchIT just makes that so easy. Like there's so many introductions, and the community. We do sponsor Uncle Marv's stuff now, so that's like a direct like outcome of PitchIT, I guess, for him from an ROI perspective. But it's an ROI from us of like getting to work with him and being a part of it. Yeah, so that's huge. Just like Zach was talking about, learning how to do the digital marketing and having that presence like outside of just trade shows. Absolutely.
I'm not going to ask you that because you already answered that.
I mean,
no, you don't
it's
get
a conversation, right? It's a live stream or a recorded stream, right? So, I mean, learning that community was important for us too, because it also helped us better listen to the things they look for outside of just the platform. So one other thing, if you acknowledge like the hat, get hard, get secure, being a hardening platform, this is something that has really taken off in a very positive light of taking a very serious security topic and putting a spin on it, right? So getting to have those general conversations where, you know, they didn't meet you because they're interested in a platform or anything. They took a meeting or they took a conversation with you to get to know you, and you get to realize exactly what people want to see and what people listen to and respond to with marketing efforts. And that was this whole little slogan was born out of PitchIT.
I love that.
Nice.
How much time for anybody that's applying that should be accepted? How much time do you think they need to prepare themselves to allocate on a weekly basis to be successful in the program, but also back to what Zach was saying, what you put in, you get out of it, right? So how much time do you think somebody needs to allocate weekly to do this? And Zach, we'll start with you because you brought up originally about the putting into this.
Yeah, I think it's going to depend on everybody. You should definitely go into it expecting to invest a lot of time. I think for me, it's hard to put an hour mark, but a lot of the things that I put in, I would take the time to perform outside of like PitchIT office hours or PitchIT meetings. So the things I'd learned in a weekly, hourly session would translate to then 2-3 webinars with other peers, which is 3-4 hours, an additional couple hours to make the content, make the agenda, right? So is me doing webinars and my other go-to-market activities I learned from PitchIT considered time dedicated to PitchIT? I don't know. But definitely the things I learned from PitchIT took a crap ton of time because I wanted to put things into action. Time spent directly working with PitchIT people, PitchIT meetings. I mean, it wasn't more, it was only an hour a week. But the things you'd learn from it, I invested a lot more time.
Bobby?
Yeah, I'd say 5 hours. I think there's 2 sessions a week, right? So that's 2 hours.
It's been a while.
Putting stuff into place. You should connect with your team. Like we always try to do like a follow-up of the session because typically we'd have like 1 or 2 people go to the session and then like share more. And then like working on the pitch. I mean, towards the end, it's a lot more time of putting your deck together and stuff. But like those are things that, again, to Zach's point, like how much of it is working on PitchIT versus working on your company. Like,
yeah,
it should all be aligned.
Yeah, and especially towards the end.
If you just work on your company the way that you work on it today, you may not prioritize the PitchIT stuff, and then it's not gonna go well. Like there were a number of people I remember that just like consistently weren't joining the sessions and such, and then they just don't get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
And I know some people didn't even like follow up with the speakers after, or even connect with them on LinkedIn. Like that was a huge thing for me. Like I think maybe I'm misspeaking, but even like me and Matt Topper being close now, I think we met during PitchIT. I could be wrong there, but like that was a relationship that I didn't really have at least nearly as strong as I do now without PitchIT. So connecting with the speakers again, like, is a networking session after someone who spoke at PitchIT hours? I don't know, but it's good for the company, and the time I invested was prioritized differently because of PitchIT.
Yes, you did meet Matt from PitchIT because I introduced you to him at MSP GeekCon after
There
you
we
made
go.
it into PitchIT.
And I still have
Yes.
never ran 18 miles with that man, and I never will, but I will happily hang out with him.
Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. Andrew, any other questions we can think of here?
I do. So as people are preparing to apply and getting ready and getting in the right mindset to be part of PitchIT, what is one piece of advice that you would give somebody if you could do it all over again?
I wouldn't do anything different personally, but like going into it, I mean, I don't know how best to answer that. I don't really, I'm the worst with hindsight, man. I'll do it one way and I'm like, that was the best I could have done. There's nothing I could have done better. But it's, for this aspect, I went into it with no ego, just wanting to build a personal brand, wanting to, get some smiles, make some friends, build some relationships. And I didn't go into it to compete. That's the last thing I really cared about. I literally went into it because Sean was like, hey, this will help the business in the long run. But, day one, my mind might have still been more business focused, but I, of course, allocated the time, was present at the sessions to where by the end of it, like I said, went into it with an open mind, no ego, became more and more involved. So, maybe less ego from the get-go, I guess would be the one thing.
I think just making the time for the sessions, like putting the time in. If you put the time in, like, you're gonna grow. I think Zach brought up a good point of like connect with the speakers afterwards. Like I was saying, I think the most valuable thing is getting plugged into the industry. If you don't talk to the people and you don't build relationships, then it's not near as valuable.
And you mentioned one thing a little bit ago, Bobby. I was gonna tell a side story, but during the last bit of the PitchIT, when things do get busier, you start prepping for the pitch and doing those practicing. It unfortunately came at horrible timing for me because I was actively moving into my RV when we got assigned like the pitch rubric and the partner and the mentor and whatnot. So for multiple days, I would just talk to myself moving into my RV while I'm trashing half of my life while moving the other half into an RV because it didn't all fit, right? And I would just be doing my pitch while moving boxes. Like that was literally my life at the end of PitchIT.
Yeah, you got to figure out how to make time for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, making time, right? It was not convenient to practice. I'll emphasize that. But if you really want to do well at something, you'll just do it while you do other stuff.
Can we highlight the fact that the one last time we all sat down before you finished the season last year, the room was empty and all you had was the teddy bear that you shoved in the corner to put something behind you, and that was all that was left. It was just the weirdest thing.
Boris the Bruin Harden. Man, that is a mythical bear. He wears the hardening crew vest, and he's with me in most of my sessions. He has his own series of him building RV equipment. So I'll be sure to continue sharing that. But recently he finished installing, I think, a new oven, built our bikes. He's got some incredible photos that I'll be sure to share.
It's impressive.
Okay.
He has his own house too outside the RV. We got a gazebo and we set him up in there with a mini fridge, a heater. Dude, the Bruin lives better than us.
Jealous.
I don't know what to say.
We can do a follow-up with him. He's more exciting than me.
It's okay. We're good. Andrea, how do we top that? Where do we go with this now?
I think that was the perfect way to wrap up this conversation. I don't think we can go anywhere from here.
Yes, agreed.
John,
so, okay, great. Yeah, let's go there.
John, can I ask a question?
No. Oh, yes, go.
So why did you want to take this over 3 years ago? What's your favorite part about being a coach to so many young companies?
Oof. Well, in my history of being in the space, I've been part of a lot of startups. And the thing, and actually, the best part about all this is when I met Andrea, because they were like, Andrea's going to help you with this. And we sat down and had our meeting. She's like, I don't know what we're doing. I'm like, I don't know what we're doing. Let's look at what exists. And we started just outlining things, right? And we started building this whole this reboot was built off of all the challenges that exist, And for me, being with vendors, working with entrepreneurs, we already knew the whole goal was to make sure you could pitch, right, and be on stage and put on a good performance, right, to win. But that it's a very real issue in the space. How many people struggle saying what they do? MSPs, ask them what they do. They can't even tell you what they do. It becomes difficult because you get so consumed, and then you're in a vacuum from what you do, right? So when we went back and rebooted the program, it was really built around. It was perfect because Andrea comes from the side of being with IT Nation and ConnectWise for many years, so she knows all the inner workings of it, which I didn't. I was from the outside, paying to be in. I'm actually just trying to get my money back from sponsorship still by getting a paycheck from IT Nation, ConnectWise. But yeah, so it was great to be able to sit there and say, I know here's all the deficits and struggles I had to grow into the community and to grow a business, and I had great success, but it just was on my own, just figuring it out by myself, trial and error. Again, and where Andrea comes into play, she was able to say, well, and she would look at me when I would say these things, and she's like, you're dumb, Sean. You should have just did this. And then she says, I'm like, oh, you're right. That's so easy. I would never have thought
I don't
that
think
easy.
I called you dumb. I would never do that to your face.
No, it was other words, kind of. But we can't use those on the show. No, but I would say Andrea and I had this conversation before. It's extremely rewarding to watch the evolution of everybody and to be involved. I mean, we take pride in it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Being able to help organizations realize their success and see the kind of goals that they've set out for themselves come to fruition is extremely rewarding. And if Sean and I can be there for just a portion of that, or just being one facet of help guiding you through this very interesting space that we all work in, that's so extremely gratifying. And it's always a pleasure to be able to work with all of you and see your incredible innovation, but then also see the growth that you have through the program. It's awesome.
Absolutely. And then you guys all become we all become very good friends. We see you guys, and it's a friendship that you don't. I mean, how many times do you go to shows and you know some people, but how many times do you go to shows and you see us and we literally, it's like you've seen your long lost friend it's been years, right? And it's like literally immediately, it's an immediate catch up, and there's a familiarity to it and a comfort to it. So I mean, just like Bobby said about growing that network, right? We're growing our network with the relationships and friendships we get to get from this. So for me, it's a win-win. I get to give back the things I've learned. I get to create a program, get you guys to fast track. Then I get to watch you guys have, rapid success, and like nothing better than whenever you guys call me and say, oh, we just got funding. Like you guys call me directly and tell me, like, as if I'm your parent. Right, which is a great, and I'm so proud of it. Right, I know, and I feel good about it. Right, and I think Bobby still has the picture of me and him I'm holding him, and I'm loving him. And it's going back in time. But no, that's why it's very rewarding for us.
Awesome. Yeah, Sean. Speaking of pictures, I do see the traceless frisbee in the background. I need to figure out how to get some thread and Senteon stuff up there.
Yeah. Had that since my first year doing it. Gene's my man.
You guys should have all the PitchIT winners behind you. That would be awesome.
I like it. I'll send you a hat.
Yeah, we'll mail you.
Send me swag. Send me something.
Yeah, we'll wait till you're in your new place. Let us know.
Perfect.
This is the new place.
No, me.
Andrea's? No. Yeah, it's not all about you.
Oh, Andrea.
Yes, when I'm
Sean recently closed on a house, everybody. Congrats. Woo!
Yes, I will happily have a PitchIT shrine in my new office once we get that built out. So
there we go.
I love it.
Yes, you should. You should. All right. So, well, that's a great question. Thank you for that, Zach. I think that's actually the first time anybody ever asked. That's the first time anybody ever asked us a question, isn't it?
That's true. Yeah.
PitchIT taught me to be a leader.
Cool. Oh,
What
okay,
other
great.
plugs can I
With
do?
that said,
Everyone sign up for PitchIT. Everyone go sign up. Smash the like and subscribe button. How am I doing?
you're doing really
Nailed
well
it.
in your
Nailed
own
it.
train wreck way. So, okay, so thank you, gentlemen. We really appreciate your time. Again, congrats on not just winning, but your actual, even current success that you guys have had, because you guys have both companies have had a lot, which is really, really good to see. So thank you again. And Andrea, anything you have left to say here that hasn't been already said?
Appreciate both of your time. Well, your time too, Sean, but really appreciate Zach and Bobby joining us today. Love being able to hear stories from PitchIT and hearing, oh, look, there's Zach giving us a tour of Glass Beach. Don't get splashed. Be safe.
The water's been rising this whole call. It's been getting close.
Amazing. Well, we will let you all go before Zach gets swallowed by the sea. But thank you so much. For those of you tuning in, be sure to catch us Thursdays, 8 a.m. Eastern. YouTube, social media channels will have it posted. We look forward to sharing more PitchIT awesomeness with you in the episodes to come.
Absolutely. For now, toodles.
See ya.
Look at me now. Look at me now. Check me out. Look at me now.